Our number 10 forgotten play. The bus loses control in traffic. Number 10.
So here it is. Huge play.
Trying to protect a 21-10 lead.
I don't care how many yards you get, but I want you to hold on to the ball.
I will.
All right, you promise me?
I promise you.
I'm not going to go 6 times. I promise you.
And that's it. The game is over.
The bus is, the last stop is here in Detroit.
Jerome Bettis' speech after Super Bowl 40 is something we'll never forget. And it quickly erased the memory of how the wheels nearly came off the bus just a few weeks earlier.
The bus almost broke down on the way to the Super Bowl. They sweep that under the rug. Everybody forgets about that part.
It's like I don't want to believe it, because that's my guy.
Sorry, but it's true. In the 2005 AFC Divisional Playoff, the Steelers drove the Colts to the brink of elimination, led by the bus.
Can buses fly?
I'm telling you, he flew over the top that time. Looked more like Walter Payton.
Nice hop. You like that? I got up there.
Now the Steelers just have to run the clock out. They give it to 36. They could have just taken a knee.
And the handoff is to Jerome Bettis, and Bettis pops the bottom. It's level. Picked up by Harper. Harper's at the 10.
I remember being like, right? He like fumbled and he's like over dramatic, trying to get it. Like, dude, you have no chance to get to that ball. It's gone.
And it's going to be the last play of Jerome Bettis' career, his storied Hall of Fame career.
Oh, my gosh! Nick Harper has it. He's running.
I remember thinking, I'm never going to watch sports again.
Roethlisberger is kind of like doing this look over his shoulder thing. Gets the loop on this guy's shoelace.
He tackles him at the 43-yard line.
If it wasn't for Ben Roethlisberger making a shoestring tackle, the game's over the other way.
Vanderjack walks on the field, and I'm standing there and I'm looking at Bussy, and Bussy's like, please, please, please.
Vanderjack's kick is on its way. That kick is long enough, high enough, and it's no good!
He missed
It's
it!
no good!
And the greatest montage of 4 guys saying the exact same words. Tony Dungy, Peyton Manning, Jerome Bettis, Bill Cowher, one by one. He missed it.
Woo! Yes, wipe that brow, Jerome.
If they don't win that game, Jerome Bettis has a stain on his resume that he would never live down. He would never let himself live it down.
He knows, and he admitted it publicly, because in his Hall of Fame speech, he said,
Ben Roethlisberger. Brother, without you saving that tackle, I still might be on the doorsteps, brother.
If I'm Jerome Bettis, that's one I want to forget, and I'm glad that everyone forgot.
Yeah, good. Yeah, I want that one forgotten.
I don't want to think about that. I don't want to think about what we'd be saying about Jerome Bettis' career. I still would like to imagine we still hold it in that Hall of Fame conversation. He's the greatest of his generation of big backs. People forget those low moments, though, and thank the heavens we don't have to ever go down that road except for on this show.
The number 9 forgotten play. Benny Malone's moment 6 in a sea of hands.
I have no idea who Benny Malone is.
Yeah, I don't remember Benny Malone at all.
We need to do background research on Ben Malone.
In 1974, the Miami Dolphins were back-to-back Super Bowl champs. But with their perfect backfield banged up, running duties fell to a rookie with imperfect form.
Benny Malone, number 32, the man who runs like he's falling down a flight of stairs.
He had that sort of bow-legged, high-stepping running style.
On December 21st, 1974, in the land of the Sparkle people, there was played a sparkling football game.
The 74 divisional playoff between the Dolphins and Raiders has an unforgettable name. Had history been different, it could have parceled Malone a lasting nickname of his own.
Ben the Mailman Malone. Because he did deliver.
And now comes heart-stopping football.
Benny Malone scored the go-ahead touchdown in the Sea of Hands game with a 23-yard run that was just finished Benny Malone.
He gets to Malone, sends him to the right. He's turning the corner.
Benny Malone was a man on this play.
Sweeps right.
He bashed a guy out of bounds. He ducked under another guy.
Down to the 15. He rams one man out of the way at the 10. He goes all the way.
Scoots his way into the end zone with what should have been the game winner.
Benny Malone with a startling run of 23 yards. And Miami is back in front 25-21.
The only problem was he probably should have fallen down at
the 3-yard line. You know, it's one of those classic ones where he scored a little bit too early.
For 5 minutes, Benny Malone was the biggest name in football. And then...
There he is, fading, looking. He's under the gun. He's tied, he throws. It is. Oh, he caught it.
Touchdown Raiders, that was a sea of hands. I've already forgotten Ben Malone.
You're dealing with a run that would have become a signature run, maybe in NFL history, certainly in the decade of the 70s.
Like, he probably goes to bars and tries to tell people, like, oh, you remember Ken Stabler? Like, oh, yeah, everybody, yeah, of course, everybody. That was the guy before that. You're like, yeah, I don't know.
That's the worst part, is that he seized the moment. You know how many nobodies get a shot at greatness and blow it? Because greatness is genuinely hard to attain, and Benny Malone did it.
This moment was taken from Ben, and that bothers me.
Hey, Benny Malone, if you're out there, I want you to know I'm proud of you. Even if nobody else in America knows who you are, I think you're great. It was Benny Malone, right? Yeah, I think you're great.
The number 8 forgotten play. Dan Reeves' moment gets packed in ice.
Dan Reeves' play in the Ice Bowl was the most spectacular play that I've never seen, and I'm just completely BSing right now. Who is Dan Reeves?
Number 30, Dan Reeves.
Though not endowed with great speed or size, Reeves is an intelligent runner.
This is Dan Reeves. This is the future head coach, Dan Reeves.
Guys, let's lay it on the line. Next play is the biggest play of the game.
Dan Reeves, who is remembered for doing the Dirty Bird.
The box score says Dan Reeves had some sort of halfback option. I don't remember any Cowboys plays from that game.
He threw a halfback option pass in the Ice Bowl.
Off the halfback option, Reeves threw a 50-yard touchdown pass.
I was 11 then, so I don't remember it in great detail.
Who's coming in that knows this play?
The Dan Reeves halfback option.
Oh, the option pass.
Rookie Dan Reeves takes advantage of the goalpost and powers for another Dallas touchdown.
Dan Reeves was a quarterback in college. Dan Reeves was a quarterback at South Carolina, so he could throw the ball. And they had good success running the option pass.
The halfback pass kept the defense honest on sweeps and scored 4 touchdowns in 1967.
On the coldest New Year's Eve in the cold, cold history of Green Bay, the Packers met the Dallas Cowboys at the Eastern Conference for the championship of the National Football League.
The wind chill is minus 15.
It's cold!
Seeing the breath.
That's football. A game that was almost impossible to play in because of the weather.
Conditions be damned. The Cowboys went for broke at the start of the fourth quarter.
The Cowboys decide to gamble with the play. It's called fire pitch. Because who thinks that you're going to have a right-handed halfback throwing a ball running to his left on a day where it's 60 below?
Come on now.
Meredith on a pitch out to Reeves. But this one's going to be a halfback option. Rensel all by himself takes it in for the touchdown.
Yeah!
Think about putting the game in the hands of a tailback on a gadget play when you can't get any footing. It's amazing.
And I don't think the Packers expected it either, for sure.
It becomes a forgotten moment, you know, because of what transpires the rest of the way.
Star begins the count. He's got the quarterback sneaking. He's in for the touchdown. The Green Bay Packers are the National Football League champions.
There's no question if the Cowboys had won the Ice Bowl that play would be an iconic play in NFL history.
The number 7 forgotten play. Really? Ricky Proehl did that?
So you're probably wondering just what might Ricky Proehl have against Tom Brady and the Patriots.
Ricky Proehl, he actually had game-tying touchdowns in 2 different Super Bowls.
No.
Against the Patriots.
And nobody cares.
Pretty sure this is the first time in all of the years that I've done this with you that we have mentioned Ricky Proehl's name. But the guy deserves some credit here.
You waited 10 years for this. 10 years.
Proehl bounced around the league as a wide receiver for a decade before catching the touchdown that got the Rams into Super Bowl 34.
Rainbows the far sideline, and this touchdown Rams is Ricky Proehl!
2 years later,
Tonight, a dynasty is born, baby.
That quote reminds me a little bit of the hubris of the Rams going into that Super Bowl.
The Patriots proved that they deserved to be in this game. Moreover, I mean, they had them on the ropes. It's fourth quarter. It looks like it's knockout time.
The Patriots increased their lead over these heavily favored St. Louis Rams.
And then, ding, here comes Ricky Proehl.
Ricky Proehl wide open, inside the 10, breaks the 10, yes! Touchdown, Ricky Proehl!
If you think about the effort in Super Bowl 36, he catches it around the 10-yard line, and he's got to make a move, and he dives, and it's such a great moment. Ties it up. The momentum's all on St. Louis's side. It looks like they're going to avoid the upset.
It ain't over till it's over, baby.
Oh, Ricky. From your mouth to Tom Brady's ears to Adam Vinatieri's foot.
Adam Vinatieri booms a 48-yard field goal, and the Patriots are Super Bowl champions.
Now, 2 years later,
Super Bowl 38, the Panthers and the Patriots.
Ricky Proehl being forgotten in Super Bowl 38 is a symbol to me of the Panthers being forgotten in Super Bowl 38.
All year, nobody's giving us a chance, but that's all that matters.
What a wild and crazy Super Bowl this has been.
It's been a track meet here in the fourth quarter.
A fourth quarter where Jake Delhomme matched Tom Brady toe for toe. You could say Jake Delhomme made some better throws in that game late than Tom Brady.
with no bigger throw than this one to Ricky Proehl.
Floats it in the end zone, wide open, touchdown, Carolina! Ricky Proehl! We're tied in the 38th Super Bowl.
Ricky Proehl scored a touchdown against the Patriots when the Rams played them a couple years ago, and here he is with Carolina doing it again.
It's a feat sort of that doesn't really have any comparison if you look through Super Bowl history of any wide receiver.
Now the only question is, have the Carolina Panthers left too much time on the clock?
Of course they did. It's Tom freaking Brady. He's done this before, and Ricky Proehl has seen it.
But it was just too much for them to stop Tom Brady and company.
In a parallel universe, Ricky Proehl was the Super Bowl hero we always talk about, not Tom Brady.
Ricky Proehl could have gone down in history as a guy that was just undersized, gritty, but clutch. That's who Ricky Proehl would be. And instead,
Ricky Proehl would be near the top of that list of guys that are forgotten because Tom Brady ended up basically erasing their names from the history book.
The number 6 forgotten play. Cowher's cojones get crushed by the Cowboys.
Super Bowl 30 is about to unfold.
The Cowboys had just kind of figured it was a fait accompli, that they were going to win this game.
That's why I hear. Kick these Pittsburgh Steelers ass up and down the field.
That Steelers team, the scrappy underdog.
Ain't nobody giving us a chance.
You just knew that the Steelers it was going to be a long day for them. The Cowboys weren't being stopped.
Touchdown, Dallas.
And you had to do something to change the momentum.
Plenty of leg. Johnson connects from 46.
Down 20-10, playing a great Cowboys team, Bill Cowher really went for it.
Hey, let's do it. Surprise onside. Hey, Dick, I'm going onside here. Not leaving anything in the bag.
The Steelers try an onside kick.
Oh, the son of a...
And they got it! And a man running with the football at the 50, and the Steelers have possession.
Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! Hey, Marty! Let's go!
I love a coach with cojones, and I thought Bill Cowher had cojones that day. I love that call.
The Steelers had the courage to call it, and it was executed perfectly.
They got them right back in that game.
They give to Bam, and Bam walks into the end zone for the Steeler touchdown.
That was a gutsy call on the onside, all right? Great call.
It becomes a forgotten moment because Larry Brown becomes the moment.
Shotgun sidecar. Here's O'Donnell, big blitz. And he fires a pass, and it's pulled in and intercepted at the 40. Larry Brown with a big interception. O'Donnell threw it right to him.
He threw the ball right to him like, here, you take it. We don't want it.
Ball just sailed a little bit.
You can maybe overcome one interception, but when O'Donnell throws that second pick, you know it's over.
Pass is picked off, and open field. Here comes Larry Brown to the 15. He's to the 10, and he's knocked out of bounds on the far side.
I have needles in my eyeballs, and my earwax is dripping into my skull at the thought of Neil O'Donnell throwing those 2 loaves of bread to Larry Brown.
And Brown again, the ball thrown right to him.
Never lived that down, that guy. Meanwhile, I'm friends with him. I'd go to weddings with him.
They had a chance to get completely blown out, and he gave them a chance to win the game.
A couple of years later, Sean Payton had the famous onside kick in the Super Bowl.
We got to recover the onside kick, boys.
The kickoff, and it's an onside kick. The Saints, I think, have it.
Everyone talks about it because they won the game. Bill Cowher's onside kick is lost to history, but it really was a great aggressive coaching move that really got them back in the game.
Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose.
And now, the number 5 forgotten play. Stabler gets snake bit by the Steelers.
Okay, in the huddle today, we got the snake at quarterback.
Kenny the Snake Stabler.
The snake.
The snake.
The snake. You know what I mean? That's one of the flyest nicknames out there for a quarterback.
Come on, Snaker!
And Stabler was on the money.
It's the perfect nickname because it means he slithers out of trouble.
He's going to go! Wins it in! Kenny Stabler!
And can kill you.
Here comes a blitz by him, and he throws. Touchdown, Raiders!
Ken Stabler was just a sickening badass. He would drink and like show up for games hungover and then kill you.
I would read the game plan by the light of the jukebox sometimes. How much sleep do you need to go play 3 hours?
1972 AFC divisional playoff, Raiders versus Steelers.
Darryl LaMonica, the Mad Bomber, winds up with flu-like symptoms, so they have to call upon Stabler in this moment.
Kenny Stabler, the southpaw from Alabama, has entered the game at quarterback for LaMonica. Stabler is facing incredible odds. And the Steelers defense being given pressure for the first time today.
Snake Stabler just all of a sudden starts scrambling.
Stabler to pass, steps away from the rush. He's going to run up the left side.
And all of a sudden he's running down the field and like, why? Tackle him.
30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown! Kenny Stabler goes all the way.
It's definitely the fastest Kenny Stabler's ever run that didn't include running away from the cops.
Stabler, 30 yards. Who would have believed it?
None of us probably thought he could run 30 yards in a straight line, and he was untouched.
And the Oakland Raiders have taken the lead in the most incredible fashion.
Does anyone remember that? No. Because what happens right after that? The greatest catch in the history of the NFL, the immaculate reception.
Fires it downfield, and there's a collision. That's caught out of the air. The ball is pulled in by Franco Harris. Harris is going for a touchdown for Pittsburgh.
No one remembers the 59 minutes and 50 seconds before. They only remember the immaculate reception.
It's such a flip of the script, what could have happened and how Kenny Stabler would have been remembered.
If it wasn't for the immaculate reception, Kenny Stabler, maybe his greatest play would have been a 30-yard run.
10, 5, touchdown!
The number 4 forgotten play. That thing that came before the drive.
I'm not really a football expert, but whatever you do right before the thing that winds up being called the drive, no one's going to remember.
Before the drive.
Why am I drawing a blank? They don't show the thing that happened before the drive on the highlight reels because, like, why would they? They just show Elway into the end zone.
The throw, touchdown!
But even as we showed some this pivotal play from the 1986 AFC Championship game, the details remain foggy.
That's a grab, and that's a touchdown. And who did that? Who scored the touchdown?
Brian Brennan. makes a quintessential Brian Brennan play.
You have this classic David and Goliath moment where you've got the big safety Dennis Smith against this little Smurfy receiver Brian Brennan, and Kosar does his classic thing where he just floats it up.
Catching the ball, juking a defender, and waltzing into the end zone to give the Browns a touchdown lead.
Brennan makes a remarkable recovery to find the ball, much less catch it, and then spin away from Smith for a 48-yard touchdown play.
They almost blew the sky off of Cleveland. It was so loud. Everybody knew right then and there that the Browns finally were going to make it all the way. You just knew it.
Thank you. Oh, yeah. Super Bowl.
We're making flight reservations, hotel rooms. It's happening.
Cleveland Browns. Super Bowl.
Well, the fat lady hasn't sung yet, but you can believe she's in the wings warming up the pipes.
And then, poof, gone.
Brennan made the catch and took it into the end zone.
Brian Brennan, the little guy beating the Goliath big-time safety, it's perfect, it's poetic. And then nobody remembers it because it disappears in the greatness of the drive, and it's sad.
The Bernie Kosar touchdown was forgotten in 98 yards in real time.
And the Broncos, in what must go down as an exceptional performance, have gone 98 yards, and the big gathering of 79,915 is silent.
Bernie Kosar has the touchdown pass before the drive. He has the drive before the Hail Flutie against Boston College.
Throws it down. Caught by Boston College.
He's another one of these guys that could have been considered a clutch legend, if not for having opponents like John Elway.
Or could it be that Kosar was okay with losing to a friend?
Bernie was kind of protecting John. He goes, give John the drive. Cleveland will bounce back. We're going to bounce back. We're going to get a new stadium. We're going to turn this thing around.
The number 3 forgotten play. Plaxico gets pushed aside by a helmet.
Let's talk about a Giants play that you probably remember.
Are we talking this right here? Helmet catch?
Manning takes the snap. Back to throw. Under pressure. Avoids the rush, and he's going to fight out of it. Still fights out of it. Now throws it deep downfield. Wide open Tyree makes the catch.
When he has that catch and it's holding it against the side of his head, just be like, what?
What a catch by Tyree. The ball was on his helmet.
The David Tyree catch is the play of the game. It's an iconic play.
David Tyree somehow was able to make the catch.
Never seen that before, and we've never seen that since.
Hey, this is fairy tale stuff.
That was the play that won the game, right?
Yeah? I don't remember. No, it wasn't. Was it?
No, that was the first down. They're saving the downs.
32-yard completion to Tyree on 3rd and 5.
That, I think, set up the drive to get to the touchdown, right?
That's right. Eli was there, hanging out with his boys. It's like, hey, dudes, you just caught a freaking football with your helmet. Now catch it with your hands so we can win.
I don't remember who scored the touchdown to win the game.
Do you remember? Yep, Nolan Ryan. Orel Hershiser. Horace Grant.
That drive ended with a Plaxico burst touchdown.
Manning lobs it. Burris alone. Touchdown, New York.
Good for Plaxico Burris. That's wonderful for Plaxico Burris.
The Giants have won the Super Bowl.
How do you forget that?
You know, one looked fancier than the other one.
Plaxico Burris was wide open in the end zone. Let's give some love to Plaxico on that play.
That was a brilliant play in itself, based on what they saw in the coverage and what route they should run.
They're bringing all out blitz. I got one-on-one coverage with Plaxico. He did a great job of running a fake slant. Sure enough, I see him running wide open in the end zone.
What a move by Burris to get open, wide open.
The drama of this play, though, is that Burris had played the entire season in this really ugly, nasty ankle sprain. All he could ever do was go to his left. He makes the plant and cuts and goes to is left on this play.
Big-time players make big-time plays in big-time situations.
For us to come out here and get a win, man, it just means so much.
The first game winner to appear on our list, Plax's play is particularly forgotten.
But Plaxico did it, he won. But we don't remember him.
We got it done, baby.
Called it.
We got it done, Coop.
Do you think Plaxico's kind of angry about that everybody to this day just keeps talking about David Tyree?
I feel like Plaxico's out there at the club, unarmed, saying to people, you know, I scored the game-winning touchdown. They're like, oh, right, yeah, wasn't that right after David Tyree's helmet catch?
Look, I think Plax is okay. Plax has lived through this one, but it was absolutely a forgotten moment.
First is wide open, touchdown Giants!
The number 2 forgotten play. Fitz gets outdone by Santonio.
Cardinals, to me, are on the top of the list of the most woe-begotten franchise in NFL history.
The Cardinals got off on the wrong foot and stumbled badly for 8 straight weeks.
But in 2008, the Redbirds had a rebirth.
Let's go! Let's go!
The Cardinals embark on their first postseason in a decade.
This Cardinals team going to the playoffs was the worst playoff team of all time.
Let's shock the world!
Warner gonna throw deep, going for Fitz, touchdown!
Larry Fitzgerald gets overlooked that year. He was as dominant a force as we've seen in the history of the NFL playoffs.
It's rare you see a receiver carry a team to a Super Bowl.
Touchdown! His third of the day!
The Arizona Cardinals are the NFC champions.
Super Bowl 43. The Cardinals take on the Steelers.
This is a team that was a heavy underdog.
He throws the pass up. It's going to be picked up. James Harrison has it. He's running up the sideline. The 10, the 5, and that's a touchdown for Pittsburgh.
Going to be tough to come back from that.
When that Harrison play happened, it was like, that's okay, we made the Super Bowl, we're gonna lose, but that's okay. And then they start to crawl back.
Gonna throw a fade right side, Fitzgerald, he got it! Touchdown, Larry Fitzgerald! And the Cardinals are back within a score midway through the fourth quarter. Warner to pass with time, fires over the middle to Fitz, caught at the 45, 50, Fitz is loose, 40, 30, goodbye! Cardinals lead! Touchdown, Larry Fitzgerald!
Yeah!
That play is one of the great turn on the Jets and run away from them moments.
Kurt Warner saw, put it on it. He turned upfield and ran it home.
He gets the ball, and it's full sprint. It's like he's in a race, like he's not even on a football field. His dreadlocks billowing.
The look back, like someone's chasing him, like he's in the jungle and there's a tiger running right behind him.
It's a beautiful play. It is the most picturesque. It is football at its absolute best.
A 64-yard touchdown, and the Cardinals lead Super Bowl 43.
Time to be great. Who daring? I'm daring to be great right now.
The Cardinals come back, and the Cardinals taking the lead is forgotten because Santonio Holmes managed to somehow keep 2 feet in the end zone while he was falling out of it.
Throws it back corner of the end zone. Santonio with a touchdown! Santonio Holmes! I don't know how he did it! This was a great one, and the Steelers prevail.
If that happens a minute and a half later, that is an all-time Super Bowl play, maybe the all-time Super Bowl play.
Larry Fitzgerald will go down as one of the great wide receivers in his league. That would have been Larry's moment.
I could almost see the NFL logo being Larry Fitzgerald in full stride, ball tucked at his elbow, with his hair flowing en route to the end zone.
I would put it number 1 on every list. There would still be kids today running away from their little brothers in the backyard saying they're Larry Fitzgerald, but unfortunately, the Steelers ruined it.
And now, our number 1 forgotten play. Jermaine is cursed to obscurity.
Think about the great catches that you remember from Super Bowl games.
I don't know how he did it!
I'd go all the way back to Max McGee, hung over, tipping the ball to himself as he's crossing the goal line. Or Lynn Swann going up with one hand.
What a catch,
The Manningham catch against the Patriots.
That's just a great play.
The Tyree catch against the Patriots.
Tyree makes the catch.
Huge plays at the biggest moments.
You'll remember those, but this one from Super Bowl 49 is tragically forgotten.
Russell's going to lay it up over the top this time. Curse reaching up. Ball slam. He caught it. It fell into his arms. Holy catfish.
He didn't catch it. He snatched.
He just snatched it out of the...
I mean, that's one of those things like you're like, how did that not touch the ground?
Okay, that's an incomplete. But wait, is it not an incomplete? He didn't actually catch that. Did he catch it? Was that his butt?
Some sort of rhythmic gymnastics routine around his body and ended up with the ball.
And my first thought was, this always happens to the Patriots.
How many different plays are the Patriots going to have like this?
The biggest plays at the biggest times.
He does the magic. He does the magic with the ball. He's like, abracadabra, here I am, I'm Mr. Wizard.
There's no question at all. That catch is greater than Tyree, and he was gonna win a Super Bowl, and we'd all be talking about the curse catch forever.
You thought, oh, the miracle's happening. It's all happening right now.
And they were like, we're gonna win this game.
Here's the problem.
So quickly.
Boom, nobody cares because...
Instead of giving to old boy Beastquake so he can go do Beastquake 400 on him, it's like, hey, let's pass the ball. And, you know, the rest is history.
Wilson, quick throw. And it's good. Intercepted. Intercepted by Malcolm Butler. Butler has it at the 1. Malcolm Butler. Oh, my word. With 20 seconds left.
The moment robbed from you and just stunned disbelief.
Oh, no.
Absolutely cannot believe that play call.
I forgot about that play. I totally forgot about that play. And because all I now remember is that interception.
But there's another very important detail about our number one forgotten play that's been lost.
While we all celebrate the catch, Malcolm Butler is the guy that gets up and tackles him. Everybody else was standing around looking. Instead of being shocked, he reacts.
Malcolm Butler made a great play.
Or else he never gets the interception and Seattle goes back to back. That's the thing that gets forgotten in that play.
I cannot thank NFL Network enough for putting Jermaine Kearse at #1 for Super Bowl 49.
Just a shot to the heart of every Seahawks fan.
Think about all the endorsements he probably missed out on because of that. His whole life could have been different.
And now where's Jermaine Kearse? Is he even with the Seahawks?
What's up? What's up?
I feel like he just doesn't get the respect that he should get.
It's all good. We got more opportunities.
Jermaine Kearse totally lost to history. He's easily #1. That is the forgotten great play in NFL history.